In the winter of 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out on a journey through the frozen mountains of the Soviet Union. They were young, fit, intelligent, and highly trained. This was supposed to be a challenging but achievable expedition. None of them ever returned. What rescuers later found shocked the world and created one of the greatest mysteries in modern history. This event became known as the Dyatlov Pass Incident. The group was led by a 23-year-old engineering student named Igor Dyatlov. All members of the team were skilled hikers with experience in extreme winter conditions. They carried proper equipment, food, and supplies. There was no sign that they were unprepared or reckless. Their goal was simple: complete the trek and return home. When weeks passed with no contact, search teams were sent into the mountains. What they discovered raised more questions than answers. The hikers' tent was found first. It was still standing, but something was terribly wrong. The tent had been cut open from the inside, not torn by animals, not damaged by weather, cut deliberately. Even more disturbing, the hikers' shoes, jackets, and supplies were still inside. Despite freezing temperatures far below zero, the group appeared to have fled the tent barefoot or partially dressed. Why would experienced hikers run into a deadly snowstorm without protection? The trail of footprints led away from the tent and down the mountain toward a forest. There were no signs of a struggle, no evidence of another group, just calm, orderly footprints disappearing into the darkness. The first bodies were found near the tree line. 2 hikers were discovered barefoot, wearing almost no clothing, beside the remains of a small fire. Their hands were badly damaged, as if they had been desperately trying to climb trees. Both had died from hypothermia. But what investigators found next was even more disturbing. The remaining bodies were scattered across the area. Some appeared to be trying to return to the tent. Others were found months later, buried under snow. Several hikers had severe injuries, crushed ribs, fractured skulls, yet showed no external wounds, no cuts, no bruises that would explain such powerful trauma. One victim was missing her tongue. Another had severe facial damage. Doctors said the injuries were similar to those caused by a major car accident, but there was no vehicle, no explosion, and no clear explanation. Stranger still, some of the hikers' clothing showed unusual levels of radiation. The Soviet investigation quickly closed the case, stating that the group died due to an unknown compelling force. The files were sealed, and the area was restricted for years. Naturally, theories exploded. Some believed the hikers encountered a military experiment gone wrong. Others suggested secret weapons testing, infrasound causing panic, or even a hidden avalanche. More extreme theories claimed involvement of creatures, paranormal forces, or unknown phenomena. For decades, no explanation fully answered all the questions. Why cut the tent from the inside? Why leave without clothes? Why injuries without external wounds? Why radiation? In recent years, new investigations suggested a rare type of avalanche may have triggered panic, forcing the group to flee the tent. According to this theory, the hikers escaped the tent to avoid being buried, then succumbed to cold and injuries in the darkness. Yet even this explanation does not satisfy everyone. Too many details remain unexplained. That is why the Dyatlov Pass incident continues to fascinate the world. It represents something deeply unsettling, the idea that trained, intelligent people can do everything right and still face an incomprehensible end. There were no villains, no witnesses, no final answers, just silence, snow, and unanswered questions. More than 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass remains a symbol of mystery, a place where logic seems to break down and certainty disappears. It reminds us that nature is powerful, unpredictable, and sometimes terrifying. It also reminds us how fragile human life can be when faced with forces beyond our understanding. The Dyatlov Pass incident was not just a tragedy.
It was a puzzle, one that history has never fully solved. And that is exactly why people are still talking about it today.